This is No Face Bigfoot, and welcome to my pickups video for November 4th, 2018. It is late on a Sunday night, and I'm about to go to bed here in about an hour and a half. But first I want to show you my pickups. There are no new games here because I picked up Red Dead Redemption 2. Had to rip the wrapping and a blind dive on it. Oh yeah, and a pickup video. So that's done with. Everything I have here are magazines, and most of them from the UK and Europe. First one. Ooh, I have not seen a copy of the official PlayStation magazine in years. And this has Red Dead Redemption 2 on the front. Now, of course, I'm lying on that because I bought the year-end issue last year, or the year-end review for 2017. Originally, it was called PlayStation Magazine and competed with OPM and a couple other PlayStation-focused magazines. OPM basically, it folded because PSM, they got the official brand on it. And they were around for several years, and then around, I think, 2012, they basically canceled the magazine. It actually was pretty good until the end. The quality went down. They didn't have as much information in there. Now on here, they had a poster, Red Dead Redemption. Not as quality as it used to be. This is basically made on paper, although the front is glossy. A little bit glossy. It also comes with free DLC. Alright, this is for Warface. And to be honest with you, you're not getting my code, even though I don't have the game. And also, Shadow of the Tomb Raider music CD. This is the third game in our series. The first two were actually pretty good in the reboot, but the third one I heard is not as good. And in fact, it's pretty random as far as trying to climb cliffs and trying to make long dives and stuff. Okay, of course, everyone gets Game Informer. Who doesn't? Of course, this is from my GameStop. I pay my $30 a year to belong to their club. I don't really buy many games there anymore. Most stuff I get is online. I buy 4 to 7 hard copies of games a year, or the physical copies. Okay, now, Michael Salzman has a series on the Atari 2600. This one's on the M Network. And these are the games by Mattel, all 17 games. I mainly played Astro Blast, Bump and Jump, and Burger Time. Of course, he had plenty of other games, and also Super Challenge Football. And it's a pretty good read. Like I said, it's in digest form. That's how I like my books. And I think it was about $8. It's a little bit expensive for something that size, but I don't mind because it's good to reminisce about the old times. It's not a lot of written into the stories, but it's enough to whet your appetite. Now, this is a pretty good series right here. The Unauthorized Atari 2600 Throwback Zine. This is the first issue, and he's up to issue number 6 right now. This one talks about the debacle that Coleco had on Donkey Kong for the Atari 2600. And boy, did that game suck. It only had 2 screens. And it was so bad that if you had 2 barrels on one level, one would disappear. So if you try to jump or try to walk into it, you're probably going to walk into one and get killed. Didn't even have extra men to it. Didn't even have 2 boards. Because the original Donkey Kong had 4 boards. It talks about the conspiracy and, kind of debunks the myth, and that's alright, which has already been debunked. It also talks about Jungle Hunt. And if anybody knows the story about that, the original arcade game was called Jungle King, and the character was dressed like Tarzan and did thing with him. So, that's pretty good. Now, one magazine that I really enjoy reading, I've read the first couple on a PDF. You basically have to go on Patreon and subscribe to this. It's called Switch Player. Excellent magazine. It's in digest form. It's about 50 pages. Excellent, excellent magazine. I paid $9 a month for this. and it's worth it. This one comes from Europe, so that's why it's so expensive. I can't highly recommend this enough. The papers are glossy. I mean, just the paperwork, top-notch reviews. There's previews. It's very hard to read, but I have good eyes. Here it talks about Fire Emblem. I mean, that's one of the 3DS staples right there. Also, another issue right here. Okay. And then, I haven't read these yet. I'm still got a backlog from some of my magazines. And then, here's another one. Okay, and you can see about Terra's Escape on the back of this. Switch is doing really good. I'm really glad that Nintendo finally got on the ball. Now, of course, I haven't opened my 2 magazines yet, so I'm going to open those up. And, as you see, these come through Royal Mail. I'm not going to show my address on here. I don't want people calling on my personal information, but of course, if you know me, you already know my address. And if you're here in Newtown, everyone knows where I live at. If you don't, living under a tree. So this was the issue number 20, I believe. So I don't want to mess this up here. Okay, and it's hard to get off. Ooh, look at that. Okay, so we're heading on to issue 21 here. And as anybody knows, the 21 Vine just pretty much destroyed my life. It's ingrained in my head for the rest of my life. 9 plus 10, 21. You stupid. Can you imagine that kid when he goes to get a job one day? Oh my God. Even 5 years later, that thing still haunts me. If you don't know how to add by 10, you're in trouble in this world. Or multiply by 10. Okay, this one got kind of cramped up because they like to stuff things into my mailbox here. Ho ho! Look who's on the front. Mega Man. Mega Man 11. I'm going to be getting that pretty soon on my PlayStation. And, of course, that was on the original NES. And that's when I actually could game. And, I had a lot more patience here. And now these are my 2 other magazines that's come through for Atari 2600. Number 3 is on the way. Q*bert. Now, there was an awesome game on the Atari 2600, but it had a glitch. When you jump from cube to cube, you could jump through coily or the red balls on there. So you had to be really careful. Also on the front, Moon Patrol and Missile Command. Those were awesome translations. Moon Patrol was superb translation. And that's a surprising compared to how bad some of the games ported over to the Atari 2600. There are exceptions like Missile Command, and especially Space Invaders. Froggo also was a good translation. Beautiful graphics. Even though some people don't like the game, I think Froggo is excellent for the Atari 2600. It's not the best version. And then one of my favorite games of all time. If you check on my YouTube channel, you could check out a video from June of 2017 that I filmed when I was in Great Falls. About 30 minutes worth of gameplay on Yars' Revenge. Oh my God. You got Dodge 'em and MASH on here. I don't think I've played MASH on the Stella emulator. It was okay, nothing great. But if you know anything about the show, it's one of the best sitcoms. Or it wasn't a sitcom, it was, it had a seriousness about Vietnam at the time. And it just focused, and there's a lot of comedy, but it was also a lot of, seriousness on there, and they brought up issues about soldiers. And, oh yeah, Chopper Command patch. As you know, Activision had these patches back in the day. So anyway, that's everything that I have so far. Oh yeah, I forgot. Yeah. And, yeah, my Schwans. Not a magazine. But I order anywhere from $50 to $100 worth of stuff off there. They have ice cream to die for. If you don't like their ice cream, man, I don't know what planet you're living on. You must be living on Pluto. Anyway, thanks for watching the video. Have a good night. Take care. Out.